Good morning. It is actually not morning, and it is almost 2 p.m., but I woke up a little bit ago. Um, there is a woodpecker outside. There. I can hear him. Um, I remember that when I was younger on YouTube, there was this type of video that was super popular, which is like, day in the life of a blank person, of I don't know, this person, and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, why don't I do that? Kind of, at least, because there's not a lot that happens to me in like an average like Sunday, which is today. um so okay. um 1 p.m, get up from sleeping for like a million hours. um Something I want to get done today is I have to draw a lot because I have 3 commissions lined up. None of them have been paid yet, which is why I haven't really properly started on them. And one of my commissioners, who's like a really nice guy, I go to class with him, and he buys me things. Like we went out to the city a bit ago, and I was like, ooh, let's go. Like we were in like manga stores and stuff like that, because he's really into anime and manga and stuff like that. Which that's kind of, it was a short-lived phase where I was super into those things as well. I'm just kind of like on the side of it anymore. Not because I hate it now, but because it's more like, it's also just another type of like animation. Because there are some people who like exclusively watch anime and read manga, but I'm like not like that. I'm interested in like every kind of animation and comic books. So I'm kind of like on the edge of it. I'm not like super otaku weeby anymore, which I used to be when I was like 10. Um, I'm just normal about it now. But he's really into that stuff, kind of exclusively. And so we talk about those things. His favorite series is Noragami. Um, and I actually got to read some of his manga from that, up to part 7. It's alright. It's alright. My honest review is that um, I was honestly surprised that it was written by. Look at my fucked up hair, bro. I was honestly surprised that it was written slash illustrated by 2 women as like a team. Oh my god, I need to actually look at these. Can you see them? Wait. These are my phone charms, and that's the thing you're always hearing going in the back of these. Anyway, I was surprised that Noragami was written by 2 women because there were so many panty shots and like kind of awkward moments about like fan servicey stuff where you're like, oh, interesting. All these characters are like 16 or something. Which like in manga, it's really easy to just read past it because you can decide how long you're gonna look at the page. Um, which is why like in manga it's easier for me to ignore the things that are like honestly really creepy. But in anime it's like it's on the screen for like a specific amount of time. You don't know how long it's gonna be there. um and sorry for putting you down, my freaking arm is tired. And you don't know how long it's gonna be on screen, and like you don't know how long you can skip. So you just, and it's like noisy too, right, because it's voice acted and stuff, and it's way more real. Like in a book, it's just the closest thing I have, which I tell you, part 5. You can just read over it. Oh yeah, that's another thing. While we were in the city, we were initially there because he wanted to go get the new parts of Noragami, which he did, and I wanted to go see if they had more Witch Hat out of the year, because I started reading it like honestly at this point 2 years ago, and I'm so lazy that technically I could like read it online. Um, but I like having the physical books, and if I read it online, then I have to read it in English, which would make me feel weird because I started it in German because I bought it in Germany. So I, for a long, long time, I only had like the first 2, and then like a year ago, I managed to find the third part because for a long time, all the stores that stocked manga for some reason only stocked part 7. Um, it was like a weird special version that had like, it was like, oh, it had some like gift inside of it. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, and so randomly, he was like last week, like, oh, I was in the city again, and when we were together, you bought part 4 and 8 because that's all they had. And I thought it would be kind of annoying to like have so many missing in between. So he bought me 5, 6, and 7. Crazy, which is pretty cool. And he was like, just make sure that I can borrow it at some point and read it too. So I've got a commission from him, an origami commission, and he's not very not very good with words. So, dude, these charms. He's not very good with words. So when he describes to me what he wants, I really have to ask a lot of questions to make sure I really get what he can see in his mind, if he can see anything. Because the first commission that he gave to me, it was really simple. I think he was just gauging my, like, talent. Because he was like, oh yeah, draw me literally, it was like full body, flat color. As long as it's like an illustration of a kitsune, because he's really into those as well. I'll take anything. And I was like, oh, you don't care about anything else? He was like, no, I'll give you like artistic liberty for like everything. So basically I got to come up with like the pose and color scheme and character, and setting and all that. And he really loved it, which is also really cute because then he commissioned me again a bit later for an illustration of Chiyome from an isekai anime whose name I forgot because I think it's pretty long. No, wait, I think it's Skeleton Knight from Another World, in Another World. It's one of those. But yeah, which is like this cat girl. So he likes like I think girls with like animal attributes, which is I guess fairly normal if you're an anime fan. So I got him that. He loved it as well. And what's cute about him is that he prints them out and he keeps all my art in a little folder that he carries around with him like to school and stuff. Because sometimes he pays me for doodles as well. Like I'm just in class and I'm scribbling something, and then he'll be like, like at first I thought it was a joke because he was like, oh, how much do you want for that? So I'm like, oh, haha, like $1 billion. And he's like, yeah, I can give you 5. And I was like, huh? And he was genuinely like, I'm gonna give you $5 for like one A4 page with maybe 3 doodles on it. I'm like, just give me €1, like, or give me €2 so I can buy myself a sandwich for lunch. And he was like, okay. And he just sometimes gives me like money for like really useless things that I draw, which is great. He's like currently my #1 client. Anyway, it's an origami commission, and it's supposed to be, all I got in the beginning was like Yato, which is like the main character guy, holding 2 swords, which he gets like somewhere, well, spoilers I guess, somewhere in like the 4th or 5th part, I think. And then like Yukine, which is like his friend slash partner slash whatever, like kind of standing behind him. That was it. And at first I thought he was talking about like a defensive pose, like before going into like a battle or a fight or something, because why else would you be holding like your weapons? Because he only really like gets the weapons in the manga when he's gonna go fight someone, and in those moments you see like Yukine being reflected either like in the swords or like behind him in like a weird, it's not weird, but like in a metaphorical sense, like, oh, he's there, but like he is the swords. And I thought it was supposed to be something like that, but then I sent him like the first sketch of it that I was actually really proud of, and he was like, it's good, but like I don't think that it really encompasses like their personalities. Slash, he was like, oh yeah, you did Yukine well, but I don't think Yato would like pose like that. And I'm like, oh my god. Okay, and I didn't get much out of that, but in the end, I found out that the problem he had with it was that the way I drew it, Yato looked like too I don't know, like he cared too much, because his whole character art is like, as well, that he's like, he doesn't care about anything really. He's like kind of lazy. So he actually meant that didn't come through enough in my sketch, and he doesn't really. I only found this out like this week, while I was trying to conceptualize more sketches, which is kind of hard when you don't exactly know what vibe your client wants. So what he actually ended up wanting is not something that's like a before the fight type of thing, but it's just supposed to be Yato showing off the weapons, just because he can, because it's like a special thing, to have those. And he was like, oh, he's supposed to be like showing it off, and Yukine is supposed to be like kind of embarrassed, but also kind of proud and stuff. And I was like, thank you, that's literally what I needed, because I was on like a whole different like train of thought here. So I'm gonna have to finish that because I had a pretty good idea for it, but because I'd already been drawing so much in that one evening where I got all the new info, and I kind of had to change my whole course. I only did a very simple sketch, and I have to update him soon because it's been like 3 weeks since he originally was like commissioned me. The other 2 commissions are honestly back burner stuff. One is just like a pet painting commission because I did like one for my friend of his dog that I talked about last video. And so he was like, oh, can you get me one of those like of the cat as well? Because he's got a cat too. And I was like, yeah, man, sure. And he was like, yeah, I'll pay you in like a can of energy and like a bag of chips. And I'm like, that's fine because he's already paying like half of the money for like a concert we're gonna go to. So nice. I'll accept it. There's tangerines on my desk that I really want to eat. And the third one is like this girl from my class that I don't really like, but she wants to try and be my friend, and she like invites me to like movies and stuff, and I'd just be like, oh haha, I don't actually like you. You're really annoying and stupid, and I just hate when you're around. And that's not something you can say to a person. But it is how I feel about her, because she's generally just very, very stupid and really, really annoying. And sometimes you can't be friends with everyone. You can't be friends with everyone. Not everyone can like you, and sometimes people that you don't like will like you, and that's bad. And she wanted to commission me too, because obviously she sees the other guy in my class doing it all the time, and we talk about it a lot. So she's like, hey, can you get me a commission as well? And I'm like, well, here's like the price sheet. So like my friend like explains the price sheet to her kind of, while she's like, okay, she's like verbally recounting everything to me that she wants. And usually, you know, I ask clients to write it down somewhere or send it to me like as concise and like as detailed as possible, so I have it for later, because I'm not going to remember what you asked me to do like, I don't know, in 2 weeks when I actually start on it. So it was like during lunch or something where she's just like, okay, I want this character, which is like some character from I think it's a K-drama. It's like one of those period pieces kind of, where it's like in some ancient period, right? And she's like, I don't remember if she's like a noble or something, but she's also a fox person. And so what she basically wanted me to do was like, she showed me like pieces of fan art, and it's just like average Korean woman, I suppose, with like slicked back hair and like I think a ponytail, and like red robes, and like this thing on her forehead, which is like a mark apparently, and it's like a little red, like, I don't know, shape. I think it's like a simplified fox shape, I'm not sure. That's basically what she looked like, and she was like, okay, so here's this one piece of fan art, and because like having a flat color would be too expensive for her, she was like, I guess you can just do the lines. And I'm like, that's totally fine, because that's an option that I offer in my client commissions. And so she just showed me this other piece of fan art and was like, so like, can you draw it like this? And I'm like, what do you mean? And then she's like, basically just redraw this other person's fan art and so I can color it. And I'm like, technically, I guess if I offered like lined commissions without color, by all means, let me turn around actually, the sun is nicer over here. By all means, I guess the client, since then it would be like their commission, they could like use it like a coloring page if they wanted to, but at the same time, in the first, it kind of took me back, because I was like, damn. Because generally I don't really allow, like, even if it's commission and like it's your drawing. Now, this is such a weird piece of hair over here, what the heck? And even like technically it's like your piece of art now. I still don't feel comfortable with people like editing and changing my work, and also just because I need it to be kind of like a contractual type thing, where it's like, if you make my art reflect something or a value that I'm not, like, that I don't represent, then I don't know, maybe people would think that I do, because it's like technically my art and stuff, and I just want to like avoid that. So generally I'm like, don't, even if it's like yours now, don't edit it. You're allowed to like use it as profile picture, backgrounds, show it off to other people, but it's important to me that people know that I made it, and that you don't change stuff about it. Because that's what I'm here for. If you want me to change anything about it, you can talk to me in the feedback phase. You know? But I guess I'll just let her have it, because like, damn, she's also trying to be an artist, but she's like still very new to it. But yeah, and I was like, okay, that's gonna run you like $10 because it's a lined portrait. And she was like, ah, okay, okay. And then she like sent me the details, and I was like, okay. And then like the next day at school, I was like, all right, I wrote down all my stuff in my Trello. Y'all know about Trello. It's basically just a thing where you can like sort your commissions, and that's what I use. And I was like, so, $10, huh? Because they take half up front or the full thing if it's a measly amount, such as $10, and we know each other in person, and there's a certain amount of trust that I'm not just gonna take your money and leave because we see each other at school every day. Um, and she was like, oh yeah, I need to like save up the money first. And I was like, you commissioned me without having money. Like it's nice that she did, but at the same time, it's like I'm not gonna really start on your thing until you can get me the money. And with her, I'm honestly unsure if I finish the commission or even start it now, if she won't just like take the sketch and keep that and be like, actually, let's call off the commission process. I don't want to do this anymore. And then she'll just keep my sketch for free, which I also offer sketches for less money. So that's like stolen work. So, meh. I just feel uncomfortable about that because I don't know her like that. Because with the guy in my class, I know he's commissioned me multiple times. We've met outside of school. We're kind of like actually friends now. With her, she's literally just a classmate, and I don't fully trust her with that type of thing. So, tomorrow's Monday, I'm gonna see if I can talk to her about that and be like, hey, got the money. Anyway, that was a long explanation. So maybe I just won't even do the whole day in my life thing. Maybe I just will upload this and be like, hey, you get to look at me again being unshowered. Or maybe I'll do the other video. And honestly, it's a skill not to get caught up in like other topics and talk all the time about things that you didn't even mean to talk about. This is super long. I'm gonna go shower.